I pledge the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, with that, I'll call the meeting to order.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve today's agenda if there's no changes for September 12th, 2026.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I will make a motion to approve the minutes for September 5th, 2023.
And I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meetings attended.
I had several. Met with Geo, we went over the windows. I don't know, Tuesday or Wednesday. Looks like everything inside is good. All the caulking's finished. We went ahead and approved it, and we got Selena to do some paperwork and move forward on that. So that's done. I met with public health, Susie, and I was going to meet with Brandon, but he was on a call. It was about the parking lot, so I could start working on what we wanted to do for parking lot stuff, and that took some time, but we kind of went on a tangent when Susie and I got together and went through the building and started looking at some things. I wanted to talk to her about the garbage disposals because we had talked about it being a septic system. And so I kind of went on the tangent that we shouldn't have those. I learned this morning that it's a lagoon. But we're still having some issues with them clogging. And I don't know how to rectify that. They can't be.
Do you want me to tell you something?
Sure.
So one thing that I found out yesterday on my research was every drain in our kitchen is clogged, every floor drain. Anytime we've ever called Roto-Rooter to come and take care of it, all they do is pull out sand. So my huge guess is we have a bigger problem from our building out to the lagoons, you know, because there's 2 manhole covers, you know, out there, one just shortly on the other side of the LP tank, if I remember correctly, and then one about halfway over to the lagoons, and then it's not a manhole cover, but it's some drainage thing that's in by the lagoon. And you can see water trickling in that one over there, but every drain in the kitchen is clogged. You can walk and look and see the water still standing in those drains. Now the one by the big freezer, walk-in cooler freezer, at one time we did have some Drano or something put down it, but it doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
So my bigger guess is it was before my time, just so we all know.
Mm-hmm.
My bigger guess is the reason we have so many problems with our garbage disposals is because of how old our drain system is, and everything's clogged already. Like they keep telling us not to put grease down there, but we're not putting grease down there.
It could be a broken line.
So it could be.
I tell you what, why don't we get somebody, they all have camera system, the drain doctor in Burlington, we can get him up there. He's got a camera system. We can get a good report for we know that if it's broke or sand.
Yeah, so
we're not assuming. And then if it is, even on if it's sand, we do have a problem. And I think we do have a problem because when you walk into that, there's a lowering of the floor.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
So, but let's go ahead and if everybody's too busy, I'll get a hold of drain doctor and have him come out.
Okay. I mean, I can make the phone call. It doesn't matter to me.
They
It
pay me
doesn't
the
really
big
matter.
money to do all this work, so that's how I'll do it. I'll get a
Okay.
hold of them, get the drain doctor up, and we'll go look at all them drains.
Because every drain is clogged, and like I said, you can look down there and see the water sitting in there.
See, that's where our maintenance should let us know that. That's the first I heard about it. I don't get mad too often, but I get mad when we have a lot of people not following through on their job, and that's where it shouldn't come to our level to fix a drain.
Correct.
I would think.
Yeah.
So currently,
broken system.
I did. We're not going to use our garbage disposals to put food in. You know, of course, there's going to be some food particles, but not large amounts. we're gonna order, a dumpster that's closer to the kitchen. Our big dumpster that's over by the jail gets full so fast that we need something. And
Well, they
so,
make a basket that goes underneath your drains that pulls out. It's got a screen in it that goes in the
Okay.
catch pan. I owned a couple businesses that had Chinese restaurants, and we had grease catch pans, and we had this deal underneath the sinks. They pull them out, and it's got a screen that goes into a trough that takes all the where it don't get down the drain.
oh, gotcha.
And then they can just dump it in the trash can, take it out of the trash. But if we have a
So we
drain
should
problem,
probably start with the drain doctor first.
let's do that before we get an
Before
idea, because if it's, I imagine that lines down there are not PVC, I imagine it's probably cast or ductile iron or something
Right.
in that. That's why I said on the Drano, because that'll just eat that stuff right up, but we'll start there. I'll get a hold of him. I'll probably do it during my meeting when we get a little pause, and I'll call him up and get that set up.
Okay, but I mean, currently, we're not gonna use our garbage disposals, you know, like I said, we did order another dumpster just because we need it anyway out there with public health and conservation.
Correct.
To make it easier for us to be throwing things away out of the kitchen.
Yeah.
So we are gonna stop that until we can figure out what's going on with the drain system.
Go along with that 100%, yeah.
Okay.
We also talked about the water in the kitchen, remember?
Yes, yep,
It appears like, there's a lot of
there's lime.
lime and hard water deposits, and we've got, she showed me the water treatment building, which is pretty spectacular. I guess we're both wondering with that water treatment, why are we getting so many lime deposits?
Could be a question for McCleary
Yeah,
that manages that bill.
well, I live out in that area. I have a house out in that area, and lime is always, and I probably got an $8,000 system in my house, and I still have
But
lime.
prior to a couple months ago, when we had problems with our water system, we didn't have this. We have a lime system that's in our dishwasher already, but that's not taking care of the problem. So whenever, a couple months ago, something happened with that water system, that then created this mess in the kitchen.
Mosquito.
Okay,
I know I'm having a problem out there. I just had Culligan come out and regenerate it, changed all my resins and my stuff, so we might have to change resins again. Or first time. They only last so long.
yeah, I have no clue. I'm not a water person, so I don't really know.
Just asking questions is all.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I'd like to get him in here.
The only other thing we talked about was the jail roof repair.
Mhm.
There's still some leakage. I think we should just go ahead and get it patched as quick as we can.
Oh, anytime we have a leak, this is called
Yeah,
contract.
I told her to go ahead. And
yeah, and so I talked to them. What I was told was that at one time, I gotten the approval to get the jail roof fixed. And then he was put on hold because they didn't, don't quote me on my words, because I'm not the one who spoke to anybody. He was just told to hold off on it, to not do it because it might have been with the whole roof. And so he stopped on the jail side and didn't fix the jail side. So this is the same roof leak that I had back in March or April that I came and spoke about and showed you guys pictures.
And that probably is true, because at one time he was looking at putting a whole metal roof in, and that what they did is on the peak, they didn't do it right. They didn't put the foam in there. There's an opening for water to get from the blowing green. So yeah, let's just go ahead and get somebody to do that.
I told her to go ahead and
Yeah.
go forward.
Okay.
Just
It's
get
the
it-
peak.
Get it fixed.
Right, so I just went ahead and went off of
Yeah.
Sean's word and
Yeah.
gonna get that going again, because yesterday when it rained so bad, I'm like, here I am again.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have
Let's get
leakage
it done.
problems.
yeah, they cut the metal, looks like 2 inches short
Yeah,
underneath that peak.
So that goes back to when the building was built, and the contractor and the
Oh, they got
checking it, and nobody checked it. They just
put
did
a
it
crown
done.
bed on it, or 18 inches.
Yeah,
It'll cover
nobody
down.
followed through. That was their fault, but that was 30 years ago, so 20 years.
17.
Yeah.
08 or 09.
Yeah. Is that everything on that side? I think that's.
On my side, but you know, we still had a couple leaks on the roof on the administrative side and in the kitchen.
Talked to Tracy yesterday.
Okay.
Told him, I said, obviously you can't do it today because it's raining, but when it dries up, shimmy back up there and see what you can find and patch it until we can get this roof situation done.
You know, cause they're putting in our.
But our
ceiling
safety
tile.
people's got so tough on him, someone's gotta hold the ladder so he can shimmy up on the roof. Well, everybody's got a job to do.
Absolutely, you know, but there's always somebody out there that can, you know.
Hire it done.
You know, what,
Hire it done. We can't do it, hire it done.
you know, there's always one of us out there that.
I hate
can
all
ladder, you know. But you know, with them putting the new ceiling tiles in, we hate for those to get ruined.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Right.
all that needs done.
Well, the 26,
But we're strangle ourselves too.
26, we're gonna make a decision on the roof,
Oh, okay,
so.
all right.
Yeah, we got a couple of weeks here.
Anything else?
Nope, not with us.
Okay.
Okay.
The next meeting I had was with Oakville council member. They've got a couple of lots in Oakville that aren't being maintained, that are owned by the county. Okay. My question to them was, do you want them? Does the city want them so we don't have to deal with them?
I don't wanna give it to the city, I wanna put them back in a tax. Mine's-
They're FEMA,
They're
aren't they,
FEMA,
Sean?
yeah.
Okay, I don't know the numbers. He showed me some pictures.
We can give them to another government entity.
Yeah, I talked to Adam,
Well, then we need to go down and make sure they're.
cause are you talking about item 11?
Yeah. I would assume.
Oh, I don't know.
I think that's what was,
That's only one parcel though, right?
yeah, and I've
Well,
got that in,
they brought to my attention 3.
yeah, I believe there's
Oh,
3
FEMA.
left, I believe so.
Okay, all right, well, we'll
Yeah.
wait till number 11 then.
Okay,
Who's coming in to talk to you, know?
me?
Oh, okay,
No, you gotta go out and come back.
all right. Well, I don't know why they
Well-
must have just grabbed me because I was easy to get to, so.
Yeah,
We've
there was
had
a
to,
gentleman that came in that brought it to my attention, that's why I added it to
Okay.
the agenda.
Okay,
Okay.
fair enough.
we've got trees before them, the
All
one
right.
up by the church.
All right, that's
I sent an email.
I think that's it. That's all I have.
Okay, Brad, have you?
Had a Waffle development meeting last Wednesday, still working toward, maybe moving some land out highway, up county. We're gonna put it up for sale, see if we can get rid of that 29, I think it's 29 acres, 27 acres maybe. Working on developing, out there on, by the old Grimm's place. For buildings, trying to move forward, get more people in the county. Got getting bids for transfer station bunkers. Went out and talked to a couple contractors, took them bid package out to them to get some ideas. I still got to meet with 2 more. Trying to get that done. Didn't attend, but I called in on the conservation meeting last night. Several things going on. We selected the pour the concrete for the machine shed that I think it's 12,100, 12,300. That was a low bid. They're working on that this morning. Going to get that done tomorrow. Get it poured, and then tomorrow they're going to start out there. And start doing some stuff on parks that we have to get on to. So we're trying to get all this done before winter. There was something else we was working on. But Katie Hammond's resigning the 29th and gonna go work at Muscatine County Conservation.
Do we know who our replacement will be?
I'm gonna
to
be
the
on
board.
I'm gonna be on the committee.
Is it gonna be promoted from within or hire somebody?
Right now, we have an interim of one of our naturalist is designated, we had that already set up to replace if any event happened. Katie had sickness or anything like that, we had somebody step in place, so we're covered, we're in good shape, we're gonna go through the select and see the direction we want to go and start working toward that, but no immediate, just immediate, so. I think that's everything.
How big is the hiring committee?
2 of us.
Okay, I didn't know if we needed a full board
No.
for this process.
No, we're just gonna go through, the way they said last night, I missed that part of the meeting. I was in the hospital last night, but they said that it's gonna be Elizabeth Kling and myself gonna be on that, so.
Future of Louisa County Conservation there.
Yeah.
Okay, that I had numerous phone calls and stuff, but nothing, just like what we've all discussed. Got any input from the public? Okay, we have no payroll changes. We got Adam showing up in 15 minutes. So, would it hurt for you to put on your other hat and discuss these FEMA lots that?
Yeah. Item 11.
Yes.
Yeah.
What this was concerning was there was a gentleman from Oakville, Tim Cabanis.
Yeah.
And he inquired about buying a county-owned lot between him and Charles Powers, and I think there's a copy for each of you.
The Beacon one?
Yeah.
No. On the BEMA lots. I was kind of mixed on that because Randy got some information one time that the only stipulation is they cannot ever be built on.
Correct.
Can we sell them as long as
No.
that's in there? Can we give it away?
We can, I talked to Adam Parsons. And he said that we can give it to another government entity, which would be like the city of Oakville. And they can put a park on it. They can have a community garden.
Yeah.
This gentleman's main concern was there are 2 trees on this lot and they're both dead. And they're very close to Charles Powers' house. And I told Adam about that and he said that would be a good idea for the county to at least get those trees cut down so it's not a liability, they fall on that house and then you have a bigger problem.
How did the county,
These are from the 93 flat.
did they apply for them or?
It was a FEMA buyout in 93. The gentleman that owned this lot and had his house there before was Doug Marquette.
So did the county have to pay for these lots?
No.
No,
They just did some paperwork and you got them.
yeah, like
BEMA is the demon. And they give us all that stuff down there at the bottom and they ruin your counties. You never can develop on them the rest of your life. We have like, what was it? 556 lots in this county that we cannot use.
There's supposed to be green space for eternity.
yeah.
It's done us a lot of good, hasn't it?
Yeah. Makes the taxpayers really helps everybody out.
And our hands are tied what we can do with them, and they're all for tax base.
Well, and
Give it to a private, so we're told not to. What the heck?
it would probably be a good
What's it gonna
idea.
do? If they don't build on it, I don't care.
We'll put deed restrictions.
Hell, I come out there, I'll help you remodel, put me on work release. Oh.
Yeah, but I don't look good in orange.
But you know what? I do. I look really good. But I think if we put deed restrictions on it and just give it to people, the neighbors down there, and just say you can never build on it, but mow it, plant on it,
Well, give us.
Somebody's gotta push
That's what
FEMA.
they,
See if
FEMA
they have
says you can have a community garden and a park.
Yeah, but give it,
You just,
And
you
let's-
can give it to the city and get it out of the county possession. I mean, I don't know why we have them
I just,
in city limits anyway. That's what Adam Parsons said.
the only way you're gonna get change is push.
What about
Well,
like
then
the
you can push
Oakville?
for FEMA. I'm not gonna get involved in
No,
it. I'm just the.
You are involved in it, but I'm just saying, as far as the decision, I think we ought to push FEMA to make that decision because it's killing this county and other counties. We had a county from Missouri come up to us and ask us about, they had a flood problem, got our advice about FEMA getting involved in buyouts. And we said, stay so far away from that. Buy them yourself. That way you can put them back in.
They're doing it with Homeland Security.
Yes. Yeah.
See, now with the 08 flood. See, FEMA bought everybody out in '93, and this was just part of the buyout.
It's a
The
government.
last one Homeland Security did, and we could
So,
sell them lots.
How much was the buyout? I mean, how much typically was a lot?
it's up to each individual. It was all different.
It was between FEMA and the individual.
Yeah, nothing to do with us. And then the county of that residence inherits them for life and they expect us to maintain them. It's a profitable thing for the county.
Well, we've cut trees down there before. 2 years ago.
I had a tree cut down 2 years ago. Yeah.
Maybe we should contact the Oakville Volunteer Foundation. They probably are the ones mowing it.
You gonna call FEMA or you want me to call FEMA?
Well, give me the number, I'll try it.
Yeah.
I'll be
We
on hold.
need to get
I'll be
on
on hold
their
for half a day.
I'm not taking no for an answer. We gotta get them to give it, at least give it with building restrictions. And get it out of I don't care if you have the taxes on it. I'd love to have taxes on it, but we gotta get it. Let somebody productively use it for something. Put melons on it. Who cares?
I think we got horses and junk cars now.
Yeah, we got rid of the junk cars.
Well, at that time, they're
Yeah.
probably back.
Not at that long. I try to buy it every once in a while. But no, Randy talked to somebody in FEMA and they was gonna let us.
They were gonna get back to us. and
But they
that's
change every year, they change the person in this area. We just gotta get their thoughts back to where they can let us give it back to the private. But not build them, I go with that, I understand their problem, but
Their portable buildings or camper.
yeah.
Back to the issue at hand. You still got your tree trimming guy that can get rid of these trees?
No, I think we need to, Columbus
Well,
has got a good one now.
or use who we use here at the courthouse.
He's from Washington.
Maddie.
Washington, right?
No, he's from Mount
Mount
Pleasant.
Pleasant.
No, it wasn't. Okay. I think we ought to use somebody from the county, but that's.
If somebody get me a number, I'll call them.
FEMA? Or,
Well, FEMA and tree trim.
I'll call Bill Maddie. I've got his number. We use him at home. I've got him. I'll call him.
I'll give you a Columbus ones too, I think. Somebody's pacemaker?
My phone's ringing.
It sounds like it's coming back here.
Mine died a long time ago.
Now, it just upsets me that FEMA we got all this land and then like down there in the island, I think there's 400 and some lots. We looked at that one time. It was 2 pages of lots, acres. The whole Reggie Myers edition. There's only 9 lots, I think 9. Is that what it is? That's out of 400 and some lots. All the rest of it's the counties and they can't ever build on it. We can't do nothing. Let's farm it, do something with it. No melons on it.
Yeah, it would be nice to be able to rent it out for farming or camping. I mean,
Or let them, I don't care if we make a penny off it, it's cost us money because you gotta go down and mow it. And it's costing.
we mow that, but the rest of them we don't.
No, but you mow that, you maintain.
I mean, you know, out there, between F Avenue and the river, I mean, there's a lot of lots out there that are just overgrown and some trash on them and all that.
Willow trees.
Willow trees and whatever else grows down on the island, you know. So.
Yeah, that's what it is there. FEMA don't have time to come up and tell us we can't give a lot away.
Or just, rent them out, I mean, I don't, you know, for farming, you're not putting anything that would, you know, prevent.
Well, you missed the first part. We got 3 lots down there that we have to take 2 trees off in Oakville because they're dying.
Just one lot has the two dead trees.
But we have 3 lots that they want to get back down there and we have trees, so we're gonna spend taxpayers' money to remove the trees, and this is idiotic.
But one
Or
of the
you could
secondary
put
roads
somebody's house when they fell off.
mowed these,
No,
lots, right?
I'm not saying about the trees being dangerous, but I'm saying.
At Oakville.
It's in a position
No, we just found one.
that we have to spend money.
But years ago in Larry's day, at one
Oh, I don't know.
time, the county even mowed these.
Well, he takes care of all Reggie Myers. You keep that mowed down there.
Yeah.
What's that cost us?
Yep, I agree. I
Yeah,
agree.
so just keep putting money into it.
Okay. Well, any more on this? We'll get.
Let's get the trees.
We'll get the trees for now and.
Well, I would say, you know, I know because I hunt out there, you know, there's a couple of buyouts that are just adjacent to state owned ground.
You want them?
And while I'm not a big proponent of this state getting more ground, that some of them are no brainers. You know,
Out here, there's some of the state's been interested.
out there, the quarter of 99 and NG62, there's one which actually helped me because I was able to drive on we killed a deer out on state ground, and I know some of it is county, so you can drive up to it, and, you know, but I'm like, why are we on this? Well, I shouldn't go back to the state, so.
Well. A phone number here. 319-212-0201. Well,
That's one of them.
Slade, I'll try this guy, and then
Okay.
if I don't get any, I'll have you call Maddie.
Okay,
Okay, are we done with the FEMA? We'll go to Adams. Where do you wanna? Or should we go with the ambulance and then let you, cause you got more business with the.
Yeah, if the ambulance can do their thing,
Well, Mike, that's all right, we'll move you, or unless you got someone else coming.
I think Brett was coming.
We pointed.
Good deal.
Okay, well,
do you wanna jump in and talk about the right of way abandonment quick?
11? Yep. Or 7?
okay, we'll give Brett a chance here.
So, this is, you guys know.
Yeah.
The corner here that we're talking about. Here's the 5 mile lane going here. We maintain, we own this, we haven't really ever maintained it though. But there's the half of the old road there that these guys, the connectings would like fixed. You know, they've been mowing it for years, we haven't done anything. I believe, yeah, so I would like to get rid of it. They are friends with Brian Carter, and hired him to do their survey. It looks okay with me. It's for me, it's something I'd be happy to get rid of. So
Well, we probably got more of it. If we can find
so this is just this is what they are, I don't know, owed. Beyond that, I believe is part of this property with the young Red Wilson, the other half of the road. So I could talk to her to see if they would like it too. I believe the rest of this goes to this property. So if we wanted to, I mean, we could get maybe aggressive and kind of clear up that entire corner down to just what we need.
That chunk was the Wiggins.
I believe so.
Wiggins right here.
Yeah.
What did you say was Boyson's?
The other half, so there's an old road that comes through here.
Yeah.
So
But by rights, if we're demanding it, this half of it would go to Connect Me, but the rest of it would go to the landowner here, which is attached to this thing, so.
And what value would we sell that at?
Well, we'd probably do the same math that we did up there. I mean, it's not, not really good grounds, so it'd be pretty cheap, so. We're talking, I believe, a half an acre here.
But connect.
So the little triangle piece and then half the roadway is what you're talking about?
Well, the connectings is just a little sliver here.
They already own this part. They
Yeah,
own it?
yeah.
Okay.
Can I write a pen for a second? So what I would do is, as much as we need here, but this little slot here could go back to Boise if they want it. And I mean, there's not a lot of value to it, but if they want to make pay off it or something, I think.
Well, okay. If you give it to them back on the tax rolls.
Yeah, so on these ones where it's kind of a mutual benefit, we have traditionally not charged for abandonment down at that old city streets we have charged for, just like we did up a Gladwin. So I don't know if we want to try to get a couple $100 out of it or not. I guess I don't know what. And I could do the math on parcels and this and all this and come back in the next week as well. So
I don't know if we've ever, since I've been on, give anything. There's always been a value to it.
we did up on G36 a little bit. It was kind of a curve on the road like this. And
Just like this.
yeah, it was
How much land was it?
half an acre or something like that. I mean,
Yeah, so it's minute. In essence, half an acre.
half an acre. So
Yeah.
So,
And we did have somebody approach us on this.
Whose ground is this?
I don't recall. What's the name there? Paul. He's in the list here, but I don't know that he owns that. So
Well, another from family owned white.
yeah. So
Well, let's have him put a value on it, see what it's worth, and
okay,
go from there.
that works for me. So.
And both parties involved in it, because I want to make sure that when we do it, it's just not one half, no
Yeah.
sell.
Yeah. So
Well,
It has to
there's
be
actually
all or none.
gonna be 3 parties.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or get it all.
I'll come back with some figures and all that, but I just want to make sure we're okay with move on before I get it. So
So you're gonna contact all 3 parties and see if all 3 parties want? If we're gonna do it,
And
or
he
just
and
do
put
it
a value on
and say, hey, it's available if you want it, because that way if Voices doesn't want it, then you can offer it to Kanishku and say,
yeah,
he doesn't want it, do you want
sure.
it? Okay.
it. Okay. You know?
Now, one difference on this road though, right? If I'll have to look to see if these were deeded by easement. If it's deeded by easement, it just goes back to the landowner. Versus those other ones were actual purchases of land. You know what I'm saying?
So they go through the public-
difference. If it's an easement to be abandoned, then it's probably free. If it's a purchase to be repurchased, it's a different.
Well, we kind of went through this on conservation, so we sold all of that.
But the difference was
It was how it was bought.
the
40 years
easement
ago.
was purchased by the railroad. It wasn't bought by the county. I don't know. I guess we'll have
We'll
to
get,
look at the legality of it all here. So
Yeah.
but okay. So if you guys would like to go, you can.
yeah, let's say, Mike,
I'll go back here. So.
we're ready to. What you got for us?
Well, as I think you all know, probably a year ago, came we ordered a new ambulance and you guys said you're gonna pay for part of it. Well, I'm just here to tell you that the new ambulance will be here before about the middle of November. So, I think there's a price did go up a little bit on us because chassis costs and then, but we did do some taking some things away and stuff. So I mean, it somewhat balanced out, but it did increase a little bit. So I guess I'm here to ask you how much of it pay for. Tell you it's gonna be in the middle of November.
So I thought we talked at our last meeting about paying this with the lost. If we do that, I would like to have that put on the ambulance. That this ambulance was purchased through local option sales tax.
And we can probably fill a decal.
Yeah, I think that would be,
That's what taxpayers set it up.
right.
for.
Yeah.
I think that would be
Well,
cool to do that.
and I think we committed to the whole value a year ago. And then, thanks for bringing to us that it did come up almost $10,000. I mean, that's the way of the world right now.
Now, as far as payment, the city is part of this GEMT program. And of course, the more expenses we have, the more money we can get out of this GEMT. So I guess I would like to propose that the city pay for the ambulance and you guys pay the city back.
Sounds good.
If that works with you guys.
I think it's a win.
Everybody wins.
If you got an advantage and you can take advantage of that, you should do that.
Pretty hard to deal with, aren't
Yeah, you guys are.
My arm hurts, it's twisted.
So we'll be back next week.
No, we're good.
And I've got a lettering machine, so if
You
you don't have to change the graphics, just say something, we'll make up a little,
Yeah.
we can stick it on it when it gets here.
Yeah, thanks for what you guys do.
I think it would be nice.
Thank you guys for thank you guys for this.
This was 4-wheel drive, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And then we're just gonna put one of the ones that we have just back in reserve for a backup, or what are you gonna do with it?
We've been, and we have, I mean, don't put this in the paper, Jim. We haven't came up, but we're talking about maybe trying to do the logistics of doing the transfer ambulance service, but we have not got things worked out yet as far as staffing and whatnot, but those guys are working on it, so whether it end up being that way, and just don't know yet. Hasn't been by the city council yet, so.
How's the new engine coming for that Med One?
It's not there yet. But he would anticipate 2 weeks from the other day that we were there. We actually stopped by on our way back from Iowa City.
So I've done some research on Chrysler products, which is the truck, the Charger, the Durango with the 5.7, and the problem, because the sheriff's department's had problems with those. Obviously, the city has. Chrysler products do not like to idle. When they idle, they historically have low oil pressure at idle, and that doesn't lube the top end, the lifters, and that's what's going out in these vehicles. Well, what does an ambulance, what does a police car do? They idle 95% of their life, and that's why they're not getting the length
This truck
service
not
out of that.
that much
You're right.
anymore.
You're right.
But it
So
probably did. prior.
Right, right, it
But-
is a police truck, yeah.
my approach is to go to Brandon and say, listen, idle is a problem with these cars. If you can't not allow them to not idle, then your service window needs to be not mileage, but hourly. And change that oil more often and try to lengthen that time out.
I
But
think that fast idle or something, boost up idle.
Something. Yeah. So it's great. This looks awesome.
Unless anybody else has any questions for him.
Great deal. Excited to see it. You guys will be excited to put it in service, I'm sure.
It actually is going to be on display right at the EMS show, EMS convention in November.
Oh, very cool. Where's that one at?
Des Moines.
Des Moines?
So people there will know walk along ambulance anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah, right. Yeah, very cool.
November, huh?
Yeah, it was supposed to be December, January, and then they wanted to put on display, so they had to push up production on it, so that's good for us. Get a couple months ahead of schedule.
Yep.
Let's
Right
hope we
time.
never have to grab it.
Thanks, guys.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll get paid for it, I'll get over and get check from her sometime after that.
Okay.
That was great. Anything else for us while you guys are here?
But she gave me a minute, I can think of something.
Well, you're,
I would plant the seed that it's come up numerous times that, when we have like multiple calls, we could easily staff 3 ambulances, if not 4. I mean, we have 1 crew on call, obviously.
No.
But, when if we're on a call, and we have another call and there's another call coming in or something like that, or maybe to help out another service, I mean, it looks like we're having a birthday party at the ambulance base is what it looks
It
like.
doesn't happen very often, but it does happen.
These guys are pretty devoted, so
It seems like,
we can
you
thank.
don't have any calls and then all of a sudden the whole county erupts all at the same time for some reason. It's very strange how that works. And if you have multiple car accidents, to say, you take a lot of ambulances out of service in a hurry if you start hauling people.
Yeah.
In a multi-car wreck.
well, hopefully it doesn't happen, but we're ready for it if it does.
Well, hopefully we never have to use that ambulance ever again, but let's be realistic. Great.
There's not to our agenda, that's, do you want to give your weekly report beans? We got this.
Yeah, I know, Mike and Brett would like to, so, I was gonna talk about the, G62 corridor 61 thing, so it's not on the agenda, just a update, so. Last week after our board meeting, or Wednesday, I had a call with the DOT, Hector, towards contractor you guys talked to, and then the assistant district engineer, Steve McAmey, to kind of update where we were on our, we met in September of last year, and we were the mayor then still. I mean, Mike was there, and one of you guys was there, I believe. So we met. We kind of had a update as to all these various issues that we've been talking about on the 61. A second exchange. And this one was primarily just. Well, I wanted to ask for more, but we kind of got bogged down on the G62 5-mile lane from the interchange into town. And I believe it was our understanding, Lake's understanding, that the DOT had agreed to improve from there into town. And, being our history with the DOT, I just wanted to touch base to make sure, before they started designing, before they started buying right away, that we were still on the same page. And I got the impression that we were not on the same page. That the DOT was like, well, we'll pave from the curve on 5-mile lane into town, and then maybe we'll slap some paved shoulders on the road. Well, and I was pretty frustrated by that, because I was under the impression we had a agreement that the whole thing was going to be done. So we went back and forth on that a bit, and then basically got to the point of like, we need to provide something to the DOT to formally respond upon. This is what we want. Even though I thought we had already done it, they kind of just, whatever. So, I got a sketch here of kind of what my thoughts are and what I thought our thoughts were at the time, but I kind of wanted to run past you guys and city to see if this is something that we can agree. This is our request. Here's the plan, and that's the cross section of the road. I do know that the DOT was very adamant that they do not want to buy right away. I don't know if that's something that we would agree to or not, but. You know,
Well, the property at the corner of D62 and K Avenue is an issue with
Yeah.
sighting. Especially when you're coming off of K Avenue and turning, it's if I'm in something that's slow, a big truck or pulling something, I gotta run the window down and listen for cars.
yeah,
Because if I'm pulling a trailer out and they're coming into town lickety split, I don't have time to get the truck and trailer out before somebody's on top of me. So
talking to the DOT, and they're estimating that, you know, traffic in that corridor will triple. I mean,
On G62.
Which makes sense.
yeah,
Which makes sense, so it's 1,300 vehicles a day, well. So west of K Avenue, it's like 1,200 vehicles a day, east of K Avenue, it's 1,500, which makes sense, right? And if it triples, let's say 4,000 is the ballpark thing, so. Obviously the 22-foot wide, with very little shoulders, 6 inches of concrete with no reinforcing bars or anything. And I mean, that's the way things were done back then, because that's what fit the traffic at the time. But obviously it's going to increase as, you know, the total volume plus every truck coming in and out of Waffle is going to hit that. You know, we're going to have lots more ag traffic, the combines and wagons and all of them, and all that could come on. So what I'm kind of thinking, and I know that we've had the driver of truck traffic and also emergency equipment, the legitimate fear of an accident, right? We can't have that choked off to traffic. So kind of my sketch is a 3-lane setup, kind of like they just put in Muscatine. I think that's kind of the modern way of doing it. Anybody going through Muscatine, you know, knows going down Park Avenue up in the ball. They try up 4 lanes there to get this racing situation, and you don't have the turning lanes and all that. That the 3 lanes with the center turn lane is kind of the modern way of doing it. I know we had talked about putting in some sort of walking trails, you know, because if Casey's or something were to move out there, you don't really want the current situation where people are just walking on the road out there. We had talked about curb and gutter at one point, but personally, I think whether it's our road or your guys' road, it's a lot easier to plow a rural section. To just plow and runs off into the ditches. You know, I would request some improvements on 142nd Avenue and some on K Avenue. You know, they've already told us that they're not going to help out with 142nd or K beyond that, but obviously the intersection I think is part of the project. I showed blue Future Street. You know, that's if somebody comes there at that corner and it develops, that'd be something that could spur in the future. Yeah, you know, I know there's been talk about, you know, a better gateway into town as it ties into 61, whether that's a different lanes or roundabout or something there. I don't think that the DOT is going to do that as part of their project, but maybe if we could get them to agree to this, there could be some sort of a discussion in there.
Where'd Hector say they was gonna stop at?
Well, Hector's memory was different than ours. You know, he was like, well, we could put paved shoulders on the existing road, basically. And I said, no, that's.
But were they gonna run the new road all the way to US Highway 61?
My understanding of the agreement was yes, but their discussion at the time was, well, we'll just do a little bit here and there.
well, I do remember him saying also they got frustrated and they said, well, why don't we just give you a bunch of money for what that would cost and you do whatever you want. I remember that conversation too.
And to be honest, you know, I mean, we could design and do it ourselves if they would fund a bunch of it. You know, if they would pay for it, it wouldn't be the end of the world, but.
They have an easier way of buying right away than we do.
Yeah, true, so, but, you know, but talking to them, they didn't wanna buy any right away, so I'm not sure. Definitely felt like we had gone backwards.
Somebody's gonna have to buy a car wash because the road's going right over the top of that.
Right, and somebody's gonna have to push ideal back to the north on their own property, and that's not free.
Yeah.
So,
How about we run this, I'm co-chair of US Highway 61 Coalition, let's run that through them. There's a lot bigger group. And then they can talk to the state and get this back onto agenda.
so, you know, you know, as an engineer, I would prefer to work it out between us before that, okay.
So we gotta have them fight because they got the Des Moines here a lot more than what we have. And I think we need to, I asked you to come to a meeting with me and we can have you present that, but I'll get a hold of them, but yeah, no.
Okay,
It's not gonna happen that way.
okay, that's fine, so, what do you guys, think of the design, the concept and all that?
Sounds good. I think the last time we met, I think we had a couple options. You had this option, and we also talked about coming down, you know, kind of turning it, coming down ISIT. But I mean, 6 one way, half a dozen the other. Obviously, I think the straight one coming in, a little bit of relocation for the car wash and ideal, and kind of a little better corner there anyway, coming in as 90, you know, than it is where the existing one came in at.
Now, I would prefer to move it down to ISIT, but I know that's not. You know, if you gave me all you know, everything I wanted, it'd be fine, but.
And I think the reason why we thought about going down ISIT is if we ended up taking that focal of, that's our path downtown, you know, you come right into town and there's,
Can go.
you know, kind of like coming in west of Mediapolis, you know, and you can go straight and go right downtown, but that may be a challenge with a lot of owners there and screwing up some people's property, you know.
But at that meeting a year ago, that's where you guys started, and then this is what we ended up with, is what, as far as what the DOT said to us and what we're hearing now.
Yeah, and you know, I had concerns with, you know, with residential houses and having all that traffic right there, you know, people backing onto it and all that. I mean, eventually it will convert from residential to commercial, but it's also a longer process and a lot more.
Does it make any sense to turn that road and run it through the old pole and line it up with Townsend? Do a little S turn right there. You see that little space? My concern is lining up with State Street, and Mike and I have talked about this, is that the truck's gonna think, oh, we're just gonna go straight. GPS says to go downtown, go straight, and we don't want them going down State Street.
No,
There's ball diamonds in a pool.
And kids and the pavement isn't concrete, you know what I'm saying?
That's why I thought, well, maybe you just follow that little curve right there and it lines up with Townsend.
The old path, you mean?
Yeah.
And if you wanted to, you know, you could put a model roundabout with sign, you know, signage and all that, kind of make it look inviting and do that on there, but.
It'd be smarter just to line it up with ISIT than spend the money on a roundabout.
Yeah. It was a roundabout.
Actually, Brad, they're
I know you.
they're safer than anything else, or efficient use of traffic.
No,
blah, blah, blah.
Tell them to an 80-year-old driving.
It's really hard to pull the big trailer.
Tell you make them on, right? Honored.
Why find the power around them all like it did?
But I think whatever happens after that, I think the DOT needs to honor its commitment. It committed to.
We've been to Des Moines before.
Yes.
And we got that second interchange and we'll go to Des Moines again. It don't make a difference to me, but no.
Well, I felt like that meeting we had there last September, they were just kind of trying to kick the can down the road. They
Yeah,
never
I
really
agree.
committed to anything.
And so I pursued them for months to try to get, hey, remember these things that we talked about? And they
They
kind
don't
of,
have the final decision.
right, so,
Yeah.
you know, I think we made the point that Wapello and Lloyds County have been treated differently than other communities along 4-lane routes. you
Well,
know?
we're the last section of it, so we've been treated like the Wicked Step Brothers,
Yeah.
so.
And we're not Burlington and we're not Muscatine.
No,
We're
and I'm
just
tired
a
of it.
little
We're gonna fight
bedroom
for it.
community and.
But you go to,
We don't
you go to, see, Prairie City and a lot of those along that corridor, they got two accesses and.
Well, they gotta know that we're not gonna go away.
Yeah,
We're gonna
back
stand
down.
up there, we're gonna bang on the table
Yeah.
and we're gonna demand what we want and, cause we only get one shot at this.
Yep, we gotta do it right.
There's no
We
going
screwed
back.
up on a couple other sections in Louisa County, and we're not gonna screw this one.
Okay. Okay.
Well, the other sections, we told them what we thought they ought to do, and now that, since they built it, they've done it.
Yeah, but there's no turning lane on 305. There's silly things that they put in there that didn't happen. And we're not gonna let it happen again. Like I said, we'll get in the car and go to Des Moines.
And, you know, and just because this corridor section costs $100 million, it doesn't mean they
It's not my problem.
can't spend $1 million or whatever in here.
Yeah.
Now, I have made the point that, you know, there's certain parts, you know, like storm sewer. I don't believe that they, by code, have the requirement to take part of that, or if we, the city, whatever, runs out utilities, right? You know, some of that is going to cost local dollars, but for us to plan ahead, whether using, you know, the Department of Marketing County or Lost or whatever, we need to have, you know, we can't just do it. We got to plan ahead, you know, so we can, you know, have budgets and all those kind of things, and you know, so.
They already got us on 99. We're not gonna let them do this again. What they get, 35 million out of us, and they're giving us a damn $2 million highway.
Yeah, I agree. So I guess I just kind of wanted to see if we want
We
to
know how we do.
if you wanted to talk to your people and see if this is a design that we can base negotiations off, or you want to be about it, or
Ask the city council, are you happy with this design? And
I want to make sure that when we talk to them, this is something everybody agrees upon, though, yeah. Because they will divide a comment, you know, they'll say, well, some people in town want a roundabout. Well, no, this is what we want.
Yeah, I'd like to have another tour of the Capitol up in the dome again too, with you and Sean. Because Sean, Mike, and myself went up there,
Because-
you went up there.
Because when I talked to them, they brought up, well, you know, we had an interchange on the second interchange on the south end, and you guys didn't want to pay for it. Well, I'm like, it was a ridiculous design.
Yeah.
You know, you had going 10 acres out there and 55-mile-per-hour curve. That was completely ridiculous.
I can't believe after.
It was like
It's usually-
$11 million, and I'm like, that's not what anybody wanted. So
No.
I'd like to have us all.
They got by with it, in Minneapolis, they're not gonna do it.
Well, we can't because of the river.
Yeah.
We have a roadblock on the other
We
side.
closed that road several times going out of town, on the backside, we gotta have 2 exits out of town, period.
And what county seat only has one paved road going in and out of it? I think any big
Well, town, we got the only
But
town.
county
in the county
seat, though.
too. Yeah,
county seat.
it's not gonna happen, that second road's already done.
Yes.
That's a done deal. This here is just minor, getting their attention.
Okay.
But I would like to have cities backing to say we can go forward, that way when we fight, we're all fighting on the same page.
Yeah, because this road wouldn't need to be improved if they wouldn't do this. They're causing this.
Yeah.
You know, that's
It's
their
not
us, it's them.
It's them.
I don't make your problem my problem.
Yep, exactly.
Well, any more discussion on this, or we'll move ahead with
Thank you.
a formal letter and
We'll go with the formal letters again.
then keep twisting arms, right?
I think they may want me to go to a council meeting at some point too, so.
Okay.
We'll go on the next council meeting.
If one of you would like to attend as well, so we are all kind of on the same page, so.
Just tell me when.
And then I'd like to, on that, Highway 61 coalition, maybe have a city representative go down with us, and we can go down there and talk to them, then we can bring it, so
Yeah, because they need to be fighting for us too.
they will.
Okay. Sounds good. So, other than that, we're up patching that concrete up on G28. We got hire coming in on Thursday. We've had a bunch of rain yesterday. That kind of hasn't rained for a month, and yet it rains daily.
Did you get it dug out yet, or?
The east end is dug out, or we're getting it graded up. We're gonna bring in 6 to 8 inches of rock, because under that road, so that road is 6 inches of concrete and no base, and you pull it up and it smells like the bottom of not a river, of Lake Odessa. It's got that organic muck in there, and
Zuck soils.
And that west side's really broken.
yeah, well, rain yesterday, it's all split and there's all that in there, so
It's like cobblestone when you go down there.
it's bad, so we're gonna get it fixed. And all that, so other than that, we're actually able to blade now, because everything.
Do some cutting now, we'll help wear that blades.
Yeah, so that's good. That's good. So after this one, we've got a few more patching jobs to do, and then rest of September we're going to be doing shoulder rocking. We are going to take our room up there on the bypass and push the rest of that and use gravel off, so we can get that striped before winter. I don't know that it needs it, but it's something we said we're going to do. So
It's holding up good.
yeah, I mean, it's gets lots of traffic and all that, so. Other than that,
You can do a car count on that September.
yeah, it'll be like October 10th.
Okay.
I talked to regional planning, and it'll be about the same time as we did last year.
Okay.
I know they one time when they did it, they had 200 or 300 cars in a day, but then you have to multiply that by Sundays, and it is, you know what I'm saying, that hold it down, but yeah. So anyway. All right, that's my report for the day.
Okay, good. Thank you. We'll go on to Kurt if he's ready.
Be on the wall.
If you have any questions.
Here he comes.
Don't tell my wife I heard you say that. She'll say, "Oh, you can hear things."
Thanks.
Well, he was attentively listening.
I was. Thank you, sorry.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. That's a good thing.
Guys.
You, sir. I'm giving each of you gentlemen a card with my hand out. Oh, here. I can give you that one, the color as well. That, yeah.
Oh, sure.
Sure.
Thank you.
Morning. Adam is not gonna be here today. He's up at VA with an appointment.
Yeah.
He is transitioning nicely into retirement, so which I think Jeanette really appreciates, having him around to do more stuff at the house.
Kitchen finish.
Yes. So currently working 17 claims, actually had one of those yesterday after I typed this up that had been successfully adjudicated in the veteran's favor. And we continue to pull over 250,000 from the feds to the county. Currently, we're 15% spent on the budget. It's an estimate. It's not quite 15%, but it's close. Next month is going to be a big expense month with the Veterans Affairs Veterans Appreciation Meal, and also fall school that all of the
commissioners are attending on Monday, and then myself Monday and the rest of the week through Thursday. I experienced last couple weeks some issue getting a credit card. That's come to fruition. I have a card. I probably applied for the wrong one, a personal versus a business. So once October's travel is done and I have not an immediate need for one, I'll transition it to an actual business card.
Good.
Same company.
Who's that through?
It's through, I believe it's TMC Bank. And so it's not, they're not a bank that has a storefront. All of our banks in town utilize them for their cards.
Okay, good.
So whatever card you have, if you have one from Community or Bank or Media Savings Bank, the fronts look different, but the person that's underwriting is the same. The corporation is the same, TMC. They all use the same bank or the same lender, if you will.
And it's something too, is that what we use? Selena, is that the same banking thing on it?
I've got mine through Community Bank. That's where Vicky went.
Yep.
We signed up for a business card.
You might ask them or direct them that I just don't want to get where you, because we pay every 2 weeks.
Yes.
And that's where the problem is on credit cards. We've had it where people had to pay late fees and stuff like that. So if you can remind them that you like to have your billing different, I don't know. We can, but we have to do a special claims if we do it. I don't like doing that. And I know Selena don't like doing it either, but I just want to get where it's not, since it's personal, that you have to come up with the money where, you know where I'm coming from. So let us know where we're at on that. And I just, because that's the problem with being personal, because it goes against your credit.
Right.
And that's why I don't want to have that happen to you. Because I know it's going to come and we're going to be right between 2 pay periods and you're going to get.
Inevitably it will.
Yes, it will. Guaranteed. Probably do it every month until we get it back.
You have to go out online and get your statement. That's what we do.
That's what the sheriff does too.
Yeah, just do provisions where you don't have to pay interest and
Right.
go against your credit. That's the only thing I was asking. Good one.
Outreach. I'm still getting a handle on documenting vets when they come in. For me, it's an afterthought. Taking care of them immediately is what I'm trying to do. And then actually recording that is something I'm not doing as well as I should be. But Adam had one visit while I was out last week. Kind of a logistical support. There was no, the veteran just needed some assistance moving something. We've had way more than 19 office visits, but no nursing home visits. Currently at the nursing homes, we have 13 in Columbus Junction and in Wapello, with 5 in Morning Sun. We continue to plan for the Veterans Appreciation Meal. Everything's going well with that. The end of the month, I want to coordinate with the newspapers to have them run an ad. We need to RSVP. We really need to know as well as we can the number of people that are coming, so I can accurately request food for that. And then I'll also be running around and putting up flyers in different storefronts that will allow me to across the county in the towns, you know, so veterans get max awareness of this. Next thing is that Mid-America Power reached out to me a couple weeks ago. They host each fall disabled veterans hunt for a select few, and I believe it's 5 this year they're taking out. We have 3 veterans that are going, and I was going to go, but I'm not any longer. I had somebody step in yesterday to take my spot, but they will provide all the equipment and all the necessary gear. They get the veterans to the blinds, and they're paying for one deer to be processed.
Excellent.
So, and the veterans have a choice. They can take more deer if they'd like to. They have to pay for the processing on the subsequent ones. And that is being the processing is being handled by West Liberty. locker. It's a nice place to take your animal to.
What is that value that they're paying for? Is that-
It's right now, if the value, if they haven't changed their prices from last year, it seems like everybody has, but it's $125 to process a deer. And that's wrapping, butchering. They actually want the hide because there's value with the hide. So they charge extra if you take the hide off. But it's wrapped, broken down, and most of it's ground. I mean, as much as you want. They do steaks and roasts and whatnot as well, as part of it. But if you want to add sticks or salamis or adding pork fat or beef fat, then there's a price associated with that. But the next piece there is I'm also a member of the Delta Waterfowl chapter, and we for Veterans Day coming up, we take out a couple of veterans, and then there's also the state Delta Waterfowl takes out veterans, and we're taking a veteran from Louisa County with that as well. Money for Soldiers Relief is at $556.94, one for utilities, one for food, and one for other assistance. We've got currently one working for a flag holder, and talked with another that needs even some documentation to get the marker for gravesite and the flag holder. And we have a veteran that is outside of the county up in Muscatine, but he's a Louisa County veteran. He'll be released in the future, 6 weeks maybe, but he'll be in a wheelchair, possibly a walker, and he'll need assistance with a ramp. I'm working with Cindy and outside agencies to help provide that for him. I told the next of kin for the veteran that we need to exhaust any insurance that they have before we move into other pots of money, if you will. We've got 5 van rides for the month already, with 2 more scheduled and a third waiting a driver. Fall school is October, second week of October. Like I said earlier, all 3 commissioners are attending, and I'm going up as well. It's in Altoona, at the Shriners Temple, I believe, is it's the building for it. And I'll meet with my commissioners next week. Any questions?
No, thank you.
Anything new for you?
No. Okay. Thank you. Good report.
See you next month.
Okay, now we have Roxanne.
I'm just seeing if he's coming. She usually zooms in.
Yeah.
Talkative group.
Hi, Brandy. This is Selena. Is Roxanne coming to the meeting or zooming in? Do you know? Okay. Okay. She was down on the agenda today, so I will look. Oh, okay. I'll just double check that. I didn't get one, so. Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye. Roxanne said she sent a message to board that she's not coming
I
today.
did get a message that she was canceling our meeting from our board meeting from today till next week, but I didn't know about
Yeah,
if that included this
Yeah.
today or not.
so she's not going to be here.
Okay, well, that would about
Adjourn.
concludes our agenda. I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion second, all in favor, say aye.
Hi.
Aye. Okay.